beautiful morning it is on the bumper breakfast. Apologies, we're starting a bit late this morning because the roads were, something else. I mean, something not to write home about. I mean, there was absolutely no LASMA official on the road this morning, all the way covering, and I'm talking about the entire axis of Ifako, Ijaye, the College Roadway, the Excellence Hotel Junction, the Ogba Bus Stop Junction, all the way to even the County Bus Stop Junction, entering into Latif Jakonde, coming up onto Agidingbi Road. There was no LASMA official until we got to Wemco Junction. The regular beautiful LASMA ladies were there at the Wemco Junction, and then when we got to First Gate, that's the one going to Acme Road, there was also LASMA officials there, but the ones on the other end were not there. And of course, when they are not on the road, when the management authorities are not on the road, you expect drivers, commuters, and bus owners to go on a riot. It was a riotous drive. Everywhere on the road is totally jam-packed. People have locked themselves up. Nobody wants to come. Nobody wants to bow for the other. Nobody wants to give space for the other person to pass. And it is a riot over there on Ifako College Road, Ogba Junction, Excellence Hotel. Thank God for Excellence Hotel that has a traffic light. Apart from that, the only set of people terrorizing people over there are the tricycle drivers, and it's an eyesore this morning, and I think we need to get the LASMA officials down there, and let's find out as early as possible. Normally by 7:30 they're already on the road. I've wondered what happened this morning where there was no single bus. There was just one police woman by the traffic light at Excellence Hotel, just one police man, a female police officer by that traffic lights, just one, wearing the normal orange and black traffic controlling uniform of the police force. Yes, that's what happens when there is breakdown of law and order, which means despite the fact that you and I may think the police are not doing enough, they are actually doing quite a lot. Despite the fact that you think LASMA is a thorn in your flesh, they are actually doing a lot. Without them, Lagos will be a jungle. Let's take a look at the stories in the papers this morning. My name is Tomisi. For those who are watching for the first time, Mondays to Fridays we do this, but of course Monday is usually the shortest because by 9:30 we're going to be rounding off the conversations. At the Nation newspaper is where I want to begin from this morning. APC chair, pressure mounts on Buhari to drop Adamu. El-Rufai, Masari off to London on consultation mission. Buni returns Wednesday with nod to take charge. IMF to help Nigeria, others on debt and tax. Man laments 720 naira a litre diesel price as aviation fuel hits 600 naira a litre. And that's not something that we can brush aside. Yesterday I was having a conversation with someone who books flights for people, and I was asking him questions like, okay, so how easy is it right now? How is business? He said to me, I don't know. People are finding it difficult to travel because now a return ticket from Abuja to Lagos is now about 105,000, 110,000 on even airlines that are not particularly popular. So what are we talking about? A lot of Nigerians are, finding it difficult to commute the regular roads, the regular lanes, because the road is, the fares are off the hook, off the roof as we speak. All right, INEC should not meddle in party affairs, says Olawekbo Hashim. And 2023 PDP opens defection talks with ex-governors, senators, reps. PDP does not belong to Wike, says Obaseki. Russia, Ukraine's war, a threat to Nigeria's food security. Because what will they chop from Russia? I don't understand. What will they chop from Russia? We import mackerel, no be rice. We import canned food from Russia, and we eat beans made in Nigeria. We eat rice from Nigerian soil. We take beans, we take gari, we take our elubo, we take our yam. So why would Russia's war become food security for Nigeria? I'm finding it difficult to understand. Are you saying that Nigerians have so much developed a unique taste for these items that we would no longer eat our regular food, eat fish from our own lagoon, that we must eat Russia canned food? Mind you, we do not eat their vegetable oil. We do not eat their palm oil. So what are we talking about? We do not take their salt. We do not use their Maggi. We do not use their iru. Their vegetables are from here. Hello? What are we talking about? Why is there food security? Why is there threat of a food security in Nigeria? After all, our government has invested quite a lot in agriculture. So we shouldn't have a problem with food right now. All right, the stock market tightens. News on directors share trading as 5 was killed in Katsina. General overseer arrested with drugs at the Lagos airport. That was one sad story yesterday that broke out as a general overseer of a church was caught with about a couple of sticks of cannabis wrapped around his body at the Muritala Muhammad International Airport here in Lagos. And it was quite sad. It was quite a sad one. He was going to an African country for a conference and he was caught. He has branches in Abuja and I think he has branches in Lagos as well, but the headquarters is in Port Harcourt. Right, the Punch newspaper gives us, of course, the picture story. Some of the 301 Nigerians, including an infant, evacuated by the federal government from Ukraine just yesterday, going through at the weekend, going through documentation process at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Of course, 301 Nigerians have made their way back to Nigeria. The Punch newspaper is where I go next. And Buni may head APC convention. Uncertainty surrounds the zoning. President asks Yobe government to lead the party to national summit. A source says Adamu may lose at the party throws open chairmanship seat torso. And Osinbajo to meet state chairman ahead of the presidential bid declaration. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, other officials during the visit to the hospitals in Kiev region in Ukraine yesterday. The president leading from the front of that war. This president has been, in fact, I watched a video this morning that yesterday he walked the streets of the capital Kiev and walked into hospitals greeting people, soldiers and many other people who are in hospitals, giving them faith and giving them hope that he's not running away. And that's just amazing right now, really amazing. Looking at what that man is doing. All right, we'll have page 27 of the Punch newspaper tells us about our former president Olusegun Obasanjo talking to us about why he fled Arabic school. Former president says he fled Arabic school because of the fear of Cain. That's why he fled the Arabic school. General overseer heading for Kenya. Crusade arrested with cannabis in Lagos. Fine man. Picture story. Pictures on the front page of the Punch newspaper as well. Bakers threatened shut down as diesel price at the soar. Talks with Labour on fuel subsidy removal ongoing. The federal government is talking there. We want to make gunpoint negotiations with ASU, says government. And NDLEA traces 4.2 billion naira to Abba Kyari and co-accused accounts. Right, Lekki Seaport will contribute 360 billion naira to Nigeria's GDP. That's coming from the federal government. Same name linkage, consumers fault, March 31 deadline, demand continues registration. Gencos disagree with TCN over outages, blame weak transmission. That's also there. Right, you have the Nigerian Tribune coming up next. The Nigerian Tribune, as diesel hits 720 naira, man cries to the federal government. How federal government plans to reverse fuel scarcity presidency. Russia, Ukraine crisis. Nigerians may experience worsening food crisis. That's talking about the LCCI. An NDLEA arrests General Overseer with drugs at Lagos Airport, seizes 40 parcels of cocaine, others at Apapa Port. You exhibit arrogance and failure. PDP replies Buhari, APC. And CPC odds favor Buni. Why APC is rethinking opposition to his leadership. APC governors regrouping behind him. Let us take heed to Buhari's admonition. Mustafa, my plans for women, youths, Sani Musa. Capacity to tackle insecurity must be considered along with zoning. That's coming from Saraki. And terrorism, Nigeria will win. CDS Irabo is talking as the Chief of Defense Staff. Why Nigeria should lead talks for South Atlantic Treaty Organization. Professor Bolaji Akiyemi is contributing to that conversation. After 7 years together, I have absolutely no issues with Buhari. Talking there is our dearest Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who happens to be a pastor. And of course, later cited a reason why. But President Muhammadu Buhari is a staunch Muslim, a dedicated one at that, with a Vice President who is a pastor. And then having run the ship, worked together for 7 years plus, the Vice President had to come out and say religious tolerance is one of the things that we need to have a more prosperous continent, a more prosperous society, and of course a more prosperous country where people are free to choose the religion they want to practice, irrespective of what it sounds like to the average person. Freedom of expression. Let them choose their religion without you forcing yours down their throat. Why the federal government must prevent another indefinite ASU strike? Stakeholders are talking there. That's also banner headline, one of the top stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And I move quickly to the Guardian newspaper this morning. Businesses hit with 96.4 trillion naira losses as losses as power failure worsens. Anxiety as students' parents await ASU's decision on strike. After months of relief, soaring energy prices raise inflation fears as countries ban food, raw materials export at over 700 naira per litre, diesel becoming scarce. And of course, firms struggle to sustain operations. As also there on the front page of The Guardian, you have war between Ukraine, Russia will make hunger crisis tougher to fight, says Olawale Cole. Osinbajo to meet APC state chairman over presidential bid. Akiyemi tasked Nigeria on new world order. 6 South Atlantic Treaty Organization. Nigeria's politics reeks of bigotry, tribalism. Others, says Fayemi. Abuja court halts APC convention indefinitely. Nigeria is winning terrorism battle, says Irabo. There's also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Still looking at some of the stories that made the front page of the papers. I love the picture story. The picture story simply expresses the 301 Nigerians, including an infant who was evacuated by the federal government over the weekend, talking about Hungary doing accreditation on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Still looking at stories that made the front page of the papers this morning. I take a look at This Nigeria, and This Nigeria newspaper simply has the banner headline. Right, still taking a look at the papers. This Nigeria is where I move to next, and it's still talking about the APC convention. Now, APC splits into camps as court stops convention. Aspirants proxies put pressure on Buhari in Lagos. In London, RCCG memo, PFN asked churches to create politics department ahead of the 2023 general elections. Buhari, APC perfect examples of arrogance in failure, says PGP. American journalist Ben Reynolds killed by Russia troops in Kiev. In COVID-19 recovery, World Bank approves $750 million for Nigeria. The faction, fair grips Ayade Matawale over Umahi's judicial ouster. Okay. Oh my God. Interesting times we are in Nigeria as we speak right now. Okay. Many people are quite scared of what it's like. But let's take a look at a quick break. Over the weekend, the Olubadan was finally installed. Yes, not reinstalled. It was installed. Mr. Senator Nick Balogun was installed as the Olubadan of Ibadan over the weekend, and it was quite an interesting ceremony. The Vice President was there live to witness the event. We would like to take a look at that video after this quick commercial break. Let's take a commercial break. When we return, we'll bring you that video from the Olubado of Ibadan's installation.
The Zenith Better Life promo is back, and it's bigger and better. You could be one of 20 lucky customers to win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from now till January 31st, 2023. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum balance of 5,000 naira. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. Yes, we're talking about the Olubado of Ibadan's installation over the weekend. My director can just put up that video. Let's watch exactly what happened. It was quite a ceremony in Ibadan over the weekend, and of course we must say that many Nigerians graced the occasion to make it one of the best that people have seen in quite a while. Of course, while we're going to look at that as well, let's not forget that just over the weekend, quite a number of Nigerians have arrived, and parents are finally heaving a sigh of relief as their children have left Ukraine. The question, however, is quite a number of Nigerians are still talking on the streets of social media that despite the war in Ukraine, they will be willing to go to Ukraine, anything to escape the hardship in Nigeria. They would be willing to go to Ukraine. And that's, for me, one of the biggest questions of the morning. Why would you want to go to a country that is fighting during a war if at a time like this you're looking at uncertainties? But of course, what you're looking at this morning, what you're watching right now on the screen, is the installation of the Olubado of Ibadan. Present at that event were notable Nigerians from across Nigeria. We're looking at many of the Obas in Yoruba land and beyond. You're looking at the oldest monarch in Oyo State as well. Oba Lamidi was also there, all the way from the Alaafin of Oyo was there, to grace the occasion as well. Oba Lamidi Adeyemi was right there, and of course the governor of Oyo State, the man himself, Engineer Seyi Makinde, performing the ceremony by himself, presenting the staff of office to the Olubado of Ibadan. I'm not sure if I particularly love the Abiti Aja more than the regular cap that Engineer Seyi Makinde uses, but let's just say that it was interesting. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was a speaker at that event. Let's quick look at some of the things that happened there with, of course, duly represented the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, among other dignitaries who made it to that event over the weekend.
I must congratulate you as you also enter the history books, being one of the few governors who have had the joyful and historic duty of handing the staff of office to a new Olubado. Ibadan became the hub of politics in the then new nation and the capital of Western region. It was and is still acknowledged as the political headquarters of the entire southwest of Nigeria. Ibadan was and has always been a city on a hill, a place of refuge and a realm in which individuals could rise by the grace of their talents on merit.
Dédé Senator Mashood Ọlálékan Ìṣọ̀lá Balógun Òkànmádé kejì ládé gẹ́gẹ́ bí Olúbàdàn ilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn.
I hereby present the staff of office to the 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Mahmood Olalekan Ishola Balogun.
ètò ọ̀hún tó wáyé ní gbọ̀ngàn Màpó nìbàdàn ló sọ ọba Lékan Balógun di Olúbàdàn kejìlélógójì lọ́jọ́ tí wọ́n ti ń fọba jẹ nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn kò lárinrin bí irú eléyìí rí nítorí ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Yẹmí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò wà níbi ayẹyẹ náà ṣé Ọ̀ṣínbàjò tó jẹ́ igbákejì ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ló ń deléde ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari nínú ìṣèjọba ilẹ̀ yìí látìgbà tí bàbá náà ti lọ sí ìdálẹ̀.
This is your radio. This is your radio.
Star FM 101.5 gives you the best of music, news, talk, entertainment, and sports like never before. We give you incisive news every hour, quality music, and sports all day round. Listen to the most entertaining, creative morning show on radio as Star FM gives you top newspaper review, headlines about politics, business, crime, events, and entertainment stories between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily. Our midday show gives you classic, up-tempo, and contemporary urban music to start your day and get you energized. Between 10 to 12 noon daily, we serve it fresh. Now, take your lunch with us on Lunch Hour Show between 12 noon and 2 p.m. as we pack you with good mix of music loaded with interactive live chart, comedy, game shows, and current events. Our word of sports on Star FM comes on daily at the 5 o'clock hour, 6 o'clock hour, and 10 o'clock hour. Daily on Star. Our evening belt showcase a mix of urban music, oldies laced with big jokes, talent hunt shows, and relationships. You don't want to miss is the PM Crew. And round up your day with us on Body and Soul, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. daily with the very best of rhythm and blues, cool music to take you to Wonderland. Join us daily as we give you the very best of music, news, sports, talk, and all-round entertainment. Star FM 101.5, entertaining you all the time. Star FM, your favorite radio station. Star FM on DSTV 869.
Welcome, Simi. Welcome to Badge. And welcome back, Obia Sika. All right, the judges of Nigerian Idol Season 7 are ready. The stage is set. And now it's time for you to impress.
Nigerian Idol Season 7, showing every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Africa.
Marhaba bika ya Ramadan. Welcome the month of forgiveness. As a foremost broadcasting house that promotes Islamic values, MITV Star FM 101.5 has packed a series of thought-provoking, source-inspiring, classical and educative Islamic programs in commemorating this year Ramadan, such as pre-dawn Ramadan Tafsir from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., Ramadan Talk, quiz competition, Tarawih live from Holy Kaaba, call to prayer, and a lot more for your spiritual upliftment during the holy month. We are imploring Islamic societies, Muslim organizations, corporate bodies, and individuals to advertise their goods and services at affordable costs. For details, contact 003 300 4531 or 00 3515 8736 and 002 928 0721. Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. Of course, congratulations to the newly installed Olubadan. All right, we were just talking about so many Nigerians that have finally arrived back in the country after the terrible ordeal they went through in Ukraine. Russia has been bombing Ukraine for quite a number of weeks now. The war is running to about 15 days, and Russia has refused to stop the bombing. So just a couple of days ago, bombed a children's hospital. A children's hospital was brought down in Mariupol. The leader of Mariupol, the mayor, was kidnapped by Russian forces, and a stooge was put in a stead in the name of a pro-Russia person who was willing to so-called rebuild the city based on Russia principles. Basically, it's beginning to look to the rest of the world that they are fighting a democracy. But let's not talk about that. Let's look basically at the Nigerians who finally made it back home, despite the war, and were able to come back here on the bill of the federal government. Many of these Nigerians are right there on the screen. About 301 of them were brought into the country just a couple of days ago, and there's 301 Nigerians that we are talking about have found opportunity to be able to express themselves and tell us exactly what it was like over there. I mean, schools were bombed as well, so I can imagine many of these Nigerians are students as we speak. So and there was even a baby. There was even a particular Nigerian that came back home with a child, a baby. What would have happened if the federal government had not, rose up to rescuing these people and getting them into the country? Let's take a look at the interview we had with one of this, the media spoke to one of these people, one of these Nigerians who were evacuated from Ukraine. Let's listen to what they had to say.
And a terrible experience. It wasn't a good one. On the 24th of February, in the night, we started hearing a different sound, like people are running hectares. So you have to trek. Like I and my friends trekked from Lviv to Medica border for 13 hours. We left Lviv around, we started trekking around 8 p.m. and we arrived Medica border at 9 a.m. in the morning. And it wasn't a good experience because we are having our luggages and we are trekking. And also when we got to the Medica border, I stayed there, we and my friends stayed there for complete 3 days before we were able to cross the border. There is no food, there was no food, there was no water, and at a point we are drinking water that contains gas, which is not good. So to plan everything, we were able to cross the border, but before we cross the border, we passed through hell.
Have pounded the whole of Kharkiv into the ground, pounded the country, pounded that city completely. A university in that city that used to be a lively area is completely missing. I mean, completely gone. This is a university building, auditoriums, classrooms, hostels that were pounded by Russia, jets and pounded by missiles from Russia. The question is, these are citizens and these are civilians who were not involved in the war. Why target civilian, why civilian targets? Why target civilian environments, places where you know that the war is not going to be fought? You definitely know that weapons are not going to be fired back at you, so why target them? Why target a hospital? There's a hospital in Kiev as we speak that has been taking care of people. But of course, the doctors are scared that anything could happen. Maybe tomorrow there could be a missile. And it's beginning to sound like Russia is even thinking of introducing biological, chemical weapons into this war. And the question is, to what end? How long are we going to encourage a wickedness amongst ourselves as human beings that will likely lead us nowhere? It is a question the rest of the world is also asking Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. And we sincerely do hope that somewhere there, up in his skull, there will be some modicum of reasoning that would put this war to an end. The Georgians are still telling the story of how Russia attacked them a couple of years ago and of course took over some cities and built territories in their own cities. You can ask rather than taking and killing people unduly. But of course, that's to be seen. That's still far to be seen. We do not know what this war would bring about. We do not know how this war would be resolved. But what we do know is that the rest of the world is hammering on Russia economically, while they're also trying to financially support Ukraine for this war. Nigerian soldiers, some of them have volunteered to go there. But of course, Poland has also decided to give fighter jets, used fighter jets to Ukraine. Unfortunately, how Ukraine will get it is still far to be seen, because Poland doesn't want to give it to Ukraine directly and wants to give it to the United States because they don't want Russia to attack them, because they helped Ukraine to win the war. So Ukrainians, they need a lot of prayers as we speak. But as we round off this morning, we want to celebrate their sister, Comfort Chiazor, who is celebrating her birthday today, the 14th of March 2022. This is coming courtesy your husband, one of my best friends ever. I'm talking about Isaac Chiazor, who pleaded with me and said, please do not forget to say happy birthday to my wife. Okay, I'll just read his message to you. He said, on this very occasion of your birthday, my love, I pray you will experience God in full. Grace will speak for you. You will fly high. You continue to find favor before God and man. The fruit of your womb will not bring forth trouble to you, and your name will ring bells in nations. Kings and queens will identify you for good in Jesus' name. Happy birthday, my princess. I truly love you, and we appreciate all your support for the family. Chiazor Isaac. And from me, that's coming from your husband, Chiazor Isaac. From me, I would just say happy birthday to you. May God continue to bless and keep you, and first keep you stronger and stronger, and continue to take you to greater heights. We hand over to our commercial segment, a 30-minute segment from a church. We'll hand over to them, as you also expect Wazobia to come up at exactly 10 o'clock. Have a beautiful day, people. Bye-bye.